Hey friends, welcome. Let's talk today. Popular topic, common topic, uncomfortable topic. Let's talk about getting angry, controlling your temper. Right? People tell you control your anger. I gotta work on my temper. Like so many things, anger, tempers. Over here we have a different view. We want to learn from everything that is going on in our life. Every experience that we have is for a reason, and it's here to teach us. And I started there because it's so important. As long as in your mind, it's like there's certain things that are inherently bad, awful. I'm not saying it's okay to like lose your temper or be angry. It's fine. It's saying the approach can't be I am a bad, horrible person because of anger. Anger I have to run from it and stay away from it and pretend it's not there and hide away like as if that's the only way to deal with it. As long as we're getting this message, you're getting this message that certain parts of you are bad, you're gonna run from it. You're gonna avoid it. You're gonna like bristle when it comes up. You're never gonna be able to hang out with it, explore it, and get to know why it even is there. And that winds up being the key to making some real change. Because there's a lot of really good ideas, there's a lot of techniques out there, and they work, but they're not like long term effective. And their effectiveness, I think, is minimum because deep down we miss the original point. That we need a different approach here. Like you may have grown up quite likely without a healthy relationship of someone to you, and as a result, the relationship you learn to form with yourself is affected. Whatever your situation was like growing up, you're still stuck in that in a certain sense. The people in your life, colleagues, you'll see it, intimate relationships, there's certain patterns that you find yourself in. As you dig into those relationships or take a look at the feelings that come up in those types of moments, which is a lot of the work I love to do with people, but what was I feeling when that argument occurred? It's very familiar. So there's a part of you today, here and now, that's still stuck in like old loops, still stuck in old patterns, having similar interactions and relationships. It's the same thing that you had as a kid. It's almost like you attract and are attracted to certain situations, people, for a reason. It's because the feelings that come up in those moments are very familiar and really need your attention. And that's what working on yourself is about. That's what building a relationship with yourself is about. That's the kind of stuff that's going on inside of you that needs your attention, that becomes the core piece to having an awesome relationship with other people. So, I mean, you can take a look at where you've struggled in your relationships to date, and then actually, a lot of times we run from it because it's uncomfortable. And I get it. Don't know what to do with it. I'm embarrassed about it. It keeps happening. Let me pretend it didn't happen. So, like, then it won't occur again in the future. But it's just you and me. We're just talking over here. It's between you and yourself. No one else is around. But to be real and honest, like, what we're going on in some of those moments, and when you've had lots of relationships in your life, and we all have, they've become incredible opportunities to go back into them, climb back into a moment. Any memories you have of yesterday, last week, last month, last year, 10 years ago, there's a whole bunch of emotion and experience that was going on in those moments. I want to help you learn how to check in with those and to use those and tune into them. So you don't have to run from it. You don't have to be afraid of it. You don't have to fear it or suppress it or reject it, but actually to use it to help you grow, and then it doesn't come up again. If it comes up in a relationship now, it's like, okay, this person's triggering that stuff. I'll say something, and if they still don't change or don't get it, I'm going to move on. It's not a good person for me. As opposed to now, that stuff comes up and it's so familiar, and you get stuck in it and you're triggered. So let's talk about it a little bit more. Let's see it as that way. Let's see it as a bid for attention. Anytime you get angry, anytime you lose your temper, to after the moment it occurs, like now we're talking about, it's a calm moment. That's where the work occurs. To allow yourself to go back into those moments. And it's embarrassing, but no one else is around. It's just you and your thoughts and feelings. To be really honest, like, wait a minute, what was I feeling in that moment? Why did I escalate so fast? Those moments are a part of you. That inner kid part is just trying to get your attention. There was something about that moment with that person, the dynamics, the feelings, what you were sensing, fears, worries, concerns that are very similar and familiar. So part of you goes, oh, great. This situation is just like countless ones we had with mom, with dad growing up, with siblings, school, whatever it is. Here's a great opportunity to work through it. It's just you don't yet have the ability to tune into it, to connect to it, to work with it. But that's what we're going to do. And the more that you do that, the less you fear it, the more you face it. Healing, emotional healing, is about taking more and more parts of yourself that you face, connect, talk to, learn from, explore, rather than avoid. Avoiding is any of your addictions: drinking, drugging, being angry, blaming, projecting on other people. The more that a person connects to parts of themselves and faces it and owns it and works through it and is aware of it, the healthier that person is. And the more we avoid, the more unhealthy a person is. It really boils down to that. If you look at the people in your life right now, just think about them. Who are people you enjoy being around, you feel good around them, you admire them, they look emotionally mature. Those are people who are facing stuff, aware of stuff. They're not locked into blame. Mom did this, dad did that, woe is me kind of a thing. They have a lot of self-awareness, and I want you to become one of those types of people also. And it's a process, it's a lifelong process of increasing the amount of stuff that we are aware of, to take the stuff that we are not aware of, that we're not conscious of, and to cast light over there and become more aware and more aware and more aware. So really, I think therapy is about developing a relationship with yourself, to gain the tools, the insight, the awareness to engage in a relationship with yourself throughout the days, the weeks, months, years of your life, throughout all your interactions, to be able to navigate them, to be aware of what you feel and communicate about it, to not be compelled to react in very strong ways, which is, if you're attracted to the title about anger and, controlling your temper, then you're looking for that, to have these moments where certain things come up, but like, no problem, I'm really already well in touch with those feelings, or I know how to handle it, or I can tell people how I feel or what I need, and if they don't respond in a way that works, I just move on. I don't spend that much time trying to run after them, right? A lot of people are very familiar with being abandoned, or feeling like they're about to be abandoned, or to be emotionally neglected, and they're speaking up and talking, and people don't respond back to them. They grew up that way, and so when they then as an adult find themselves in that situation, they're talking, the person's rejecting them or ignoring them or distorting their words. It's like, oh, part of you goes, oh yeah, that's familiar, I guess this is okay, and then you keep going. So we're going to break out of that. But generally speaking, there's certain things in your life that you notice that you yourself say, I want to work on, not because a blog post says it's good or it's bad, or because other people, could be people you care about say, hey man, you really need to work on this issue. No problem. All of those things, when they come up, it's like a check engine light. Now, check engine light in the car is not bad, it's not good, it just is. It's an attempt to try and give me some information. Now, a lot of us go, darn, I don't have any money in the pocket, so I don't want to get the car checked out. I'm worried it's going to have an issue. But better, the issue, better what it is, and then you could deal with it there. I just had this happen a few weeks ago, and went and got the car checked out, and you plug it into a computer, and it turned out to be like, hey, here's something that's coming down the line you may want to check out, in a few months. Okay, cool. So it's not automatically a guarantee of good or bad, but it is a part of ourself that we've lived in fear of. We've run from ourselves because we don't know what to do. Not your fault. The work we do here on this channel is about learning how to face that stuff. It's learning how to build a healthy relationship with yourself. So to see parts of ourselves that come up that are uncomfortable, intense, strong emotionally, to see it as a bid for attention, to see it as a check engine light. When you get angry, there's a pattern to it. When your temper rages, there's a pattern to it. What was going on just before that? That's what I'm always curious about. And so the work we do here is, how do I stop being this victim and running and avoiding it? Let's start with a feelings chart. So you could pause the video now, because I really want you to jump in. And I'll be launching a course soon on helping people to do this work, and it'll come with a feelings chart, but don't wait. I really believe in empowering people as much as possible. I want you to jump in and start to heal yourself, because at the core, everybody on the planet has the ability to have a healthy emotional relationship with themselves, to heal, to grow, to build confidence, esteem, and to engage in successful, healthy relationships with others. So search Google's images for feelings chart and download it. Okay, and this is just a list of feeling words because we don't know what we feel. But what you want to start to do is, with this chart, you want to think about a recent time you got angry or you lost your temper, right? First of all, climb back into that moment, right? No one else is around. So it's embarrassing, maybe it's shameful, it's uncomfortable. Notice those feelings. Use the chart to give you suggestions and names for those feelings. As much as you can start to connect with yourself, and not just I said and he said, or I behaved like this, or I said like this, or I can't believe he said that, or I really should have said this. It would have been like a really great comeback. Besides, what were you going through emotionally? That's that inner kid part of you that was trying to communicate. There was something about that moment. And the anger is an attempt to, let's say, speak up on your own behalf, or to protect and defend yourself, or to make sure that you're okay, or to produce a sense of security. And so those are all legitimate emotional needs. It's just you do not yet have healthier tools to meet those needs. You're not aware that you have that unmet need, which is legit, and so that you can then say, okay, how do I then work on meeting that emotional need that we have? But there's always a reason. There's always some legitimate reason. It's something that's going on, some need that you have, to which the only tool that you have in the tool belt right now is anger and losing your temper. And it kind of works, right? There is some gain from the anger. Let's embrace it for a second. Getting angry does work in the sense you are safe or protected, or the person backs off, or the argument is shut down or closed down. You don't feel under attack, fearful or vulnerable or worried about something negative occurring. So it does work. It just comes with massive side effects, a lot of fallout and cleanup. But so that's just proof that there's something legitimate that's going on. And so that's the first step, is just saying in quiet moments to start embrace those moments of anger and losing your temper, and saying, but why? My anger, my losing of temper was a response to some emotions that start to come up that I am very uncomfortable with. I don't know what to do with when they show up. I don't even know their names. I don't know what they're about yet. I'm not even aware of it because I've been so busy living life on edge, anxious, ready to jump and pounce, that as soon as those same familiar feelings come up, I jump right into the anger zone. I jump right into the lose my temper zone. So it's like, so now in a calm, quiet moment, there's some shame, there's some embarrassment, but underneath it is there's something legitimate that was going on. There was something about that moment. Maybe you're afraid that you weren't being heard, or you would be mistreated, or you'd be abandoned, or somebody would put words in your mouth or make assumptions about you, or you wouldn't be heard clearly. So it's that the anger and the losing your temper part is an attempt and an effort to meet or to respond to emotions that were coming up. And so it's not a great method. It doesn't really work. It may in part, and that might give you some insight, like what did you gain? For example, if the conversation then ends, so then it worked in the sense that I'm safe now, I'm secure, no one's attacking me, right? So whatever it is, just the very fact that you're here, you're thinking about it, you're going back into those moments, trying to get in touch with the emotions that were starting to poke up and peep up a little bit, and starting to put some names to it, because we don't have vocabulary. We have happy, sad, angry. Generally, we don't have the right words, but naming your feelings is a massively powerful practice, especially when done consistently. If you take a look at the book Atomic Habits, and talking about doing things consistently, regularly, having a moment, let's say 20 seconds a day, where you grab a time that I lost it, I was triggered, I had a very strong reaction, or here I was angry, or I lost my temper, to reflect on that moment. If you would do a workout like that, 20 seconds a day, and put names to the feelings, you're connecting to them, owning them, developing a sense of reassurance, treating yourself as valid. You build your sense of validation so that you're not like a people pleaser anymore. You're validating yourself because you're treating yourself as worth the time to tune into your own feelings. So it's a very massively powerful process. It's the first step. It's how you go from being victim and avoidant to starting to face. It's just tuning into those moments. But embrace those moments. Your past is your past. You own it. It can't hurt you anymore. Your past is full of moments of anger, or anger and losing your temper. Something illegitimate was going on, but the emotions tried to get your attention, and then right away you went into your protective pose or posture of being angry and losing your temper. Even just a week of 20 seconds a day of tuning in, and you want to do more than 20 seconds, go for it. You want to do it 6 times a day for 20 seconds, go for it. But that's you literally building a relationship with yourself, right? How do you build a relationship with other people? You sit, you talk, you share information, get to know each other. And so, and it works and it develops. So that process, to see it as a check engine light. Your anger is a part of you trying to get your attention, to teach you about something, to tell you it needs something. Once you're aware of that, you can then begin to meet those needs in different ways, be reassuring. For example, just naming your own feelings, being aware of what you feel, is reassuring, is validating. It does produce security, does produce a sense of safety. For example, it needs to be done regularly, just like you can't go to the gym once a month and think you're going to get results. But just let's see if you can't start forming a new relationship with anger and having these outbursts, seeking to see it as an attempt by a part of you to talk to you and communicate with you. Use the comments if you want more help and support. I'm happy to jump in and talk more with you, and start to make some change, some inroads on this. You don't have to live in fear of being angry. You don't have to say, I'm going to be alone forever because I always seem to lose my temper. You flip it on its head, and this is how you become strong. And this is how you become confident. And this is how you become emotionally capable, able to speak up and talk about emotions and share what you feel. And hey, it makes me really angry, when you do such and such, because I feel unheard, I feel rejected. And you flip it on its head. You develop your own confidence that you're absolutely allowed to feel, and then you express yourself and you put it out there. To me, that's confidence. To me, that's strength. And then you don't have to live in fear or worry that I'm going to boil up so much that I'm going to get angry, because it's like I'm well in touch with these emotions. I'm getting in touch with the emotions. It never boils up that high anymore. The boiling up and getting higher is about fears you won't be able to take care of yourself emotionally. You'll be hurt. It's about not being in touch with what you feel and suppressing it and not getting it out more. It's like, it's under pressure. It's like locked down. This is like a pressure release valve. To me, that's the way that it is. And this is how I think all issues can be initially dealt with, is to be seen as check engine lights and an opportunity to get in touch with yourself. I think you'll see it yourself. And when do you typically get angry or lose your temper? Oh, there's a pattern here. What's the type of person around whom it occurs? What are the kinds of situations in which it typically occurs? If it's happened in your intimate relationships, what are the kinds of issues? Is there a similarity across relationships as far as when the anger starts to come out, the way in which you express your anger? Is there a certain pattern to it? Use it for the good. Use it as an opportunity to learn more about yourself. And then what you'll find is naturally those emotions become much more calm, much more under check, much more in line. It's part of you trying to communicate. And now that you're trying to tune in and listen and be there for that part, the intensity, the rage doesn't need to be there anymore, because that part feels heard. And the purpose for which it was originally there is no longer necessary. You're also developing healthier approaches to managing feelings, expressing yourself, and to be aware. You want to be around people that can hear you and communicate with you and meet your needs back as you meet their needs, as opposed to people, let's say, who keep imposing a narrative on you, or not hearing you, or twisting and manipulating your words, or leaving you rejected or unheard. You can flip the script, but it always starts with your own relationship with yourself. And that's a specialty of the kind of work that we do over here, helping people develop and build the relationship that they have with themselves. And then naturally, automatically, like a ripple effect, your relationships with everyone else around you will start to change. Use the comments. Let me know how it goes. Give us a subscribe as we build up the channel. And we'll talk more soon.